Thank you, Don. I am honored to be here this evening and very privileged to be a candidate for the Republican Party's nomination for the mayor of Jasper. And I say that privilege because, isn't it great? And I hope you really join me that there is choice. There are 5 candidates for mayor this year. We've never seen anything like it. The electorate, I believe, is truly interested, and I'm delighted to be a part of that process. You know, I hope the other 2 candidates have enjoyed the last several weeks like I have. I found it to be very exciting as people came up and talked to you as you go door to door and they say things to you. You can almost get a little bit above your raisins, so to speak. And I have a belief that God kind of keeps us a little bit humble. So as I'm writing my first check, a temporary check, mind you, they're just kind of random checks of things. I'm paying for this badge right here at Huffman Office Supply, Seitz for Mayor Committee. And I'm signing that check and I look and Tigger is on the check. And I'm thinking, how humble can you get? It's just a wonderful opportunity to go, it's not that big a deal, just enjoy the trip. And that's what I put in my sign when we kicked off our campaign. Let's have fun. And I truly, really mean that. Let's have fun, let's engage this electorate, and let's continue progress here in the city of Jasper. Speaking of which, I have the wonderful opportunity every morning when I wake up to look out my front door and see Jasper's new Central Green, where the former high school and middle school used to be, right across the street from my home. I played a role in that transformation from old building to its current park, and so did some of you in this room, neighbors who live around it. I see Central Green as a metaphor for our city, and I say Jasper itself as a city is now in a stage of transformation, because we have a long-serving mayor who's with us tonight. After 20 years of serving Jasper, his administration is departing, and we'll be electing a new administration. So I see myself as willing to play a role in the city's transformation, just like we transformed the old middle school property into Central Green. Tonight I wish to share elements of my platform with you, and there are 3. Jobs, youth and families, and what I call our unclaimed potential. DuBois County has had a net loss of 2,500 jobs since 1990, a slow bleed. A significant number of these in Jasper. Our city does have quite a few empty buildings of factories and certainly commercial buildings. Instead of 45 to 55 hours a week with overtime pay, many employees are putting in 35 hours a week, hoping to keep benefits. At best today, our local economy is average. At worst, it's fragile. It's time to address our jobs, our economy differently. And I can't stand the words, we've always done it this way. So as your mayor, I will use my extensive business background and solid connections throughout the state of Indiana to be a personal advocate for our strong workforce and existing companies. I will personally represent Jasper when seeking new ventures and investment, particularly in business sectors we don't now have, life sciences, biotechnology, defense, with the goal not only to create new jobs, but to welcome new citizens, new taxpayers to Jasper. A couple of weeks ago, I was with a friend of mine, an accountant in Indianapolis, who grew up here, and when he looked at me and said, Terry, I can't convince people to come to Jasper because it's closed for business. That hurt. We have attitudinal problems in our city, or the perception thereof. I don't know what it is, but if people aren't even going to consider because they think we're closed for business, we've got work to do. I will advocate for passage of the Jasper Action Team's Economic Incentive Program by our Common Council. It may pass the County Council prior to that, but if it doesn't, I'm very confident this is one of the tools or the instruments that we need. The research for this was thoroughly conducted, the formula properly vetted, the information was professionally presented. As a member of the action team, I am disappointed that the program has not yet been adopted nor action taken on it since it was presented to the Common Council last October. I will push for more accountability from the DuBois County Area Development Corporation. The City of Jasper generously funds DCADC, and voters tell me they're disappointed with the results of our investment. It's important we and DuBois County get more from the DCADC and our contribution of tax dollars. Concerning the proposal for conversion of the Jasper power plant, I've had conversations with Pastor Breedlove, who, by the way, is my backyard neighbor, so we converse kind of regularly. Not always about the power plant. Sometimes it's about his kids swinging in the swing set that I gave him, that we didn't need any longer. Also talked to Bud Hauersberger and Wayne Sheeter. Based on those conversations, public meetings I've attended, and really last week's Common Council meeting, which was excellent, it's obvious that the proposal from Twisted Oak needs further research, and I think everyone's comfortable with that. I am confident in the process as it now stands. I look forward to what we are still to glean. This is an issue that's not going to happen before the election, but I like where we stand and what we need to learn. I think the citizens could take great comfort in those who are doing the diligence on that. As a father, I'm delighted that my two daughters left home to continue their education, and even more delighted that they've returned here to live and establish families. More than 90% of the Jasper High School class of 2010 went on to further education, to training, or to the military. And while I want to acknowledge the work that our schools have done to help that be such a great achievement, I have two questions. Assuming that they are entering the workforce, the number of remaining graduates are not enough to sustain our current levels of employment. And one can't really assume that these recent graduates have the skills our employers need. The second question is, what brings those who have left back? I believe fortifying the jobs we have and bringing different jobs, not necessarily manufacturing, not necessarily wood, different jobs will strengthen our community's unique qualities and culture. We have to seek them out. They won't find us. I believe our city government needs to better comprehend our changing population. I hope you know this, but I will share it with you just in case. We have 15,038 residents in Jasper according to the 2010 U.S. Census. We have 1,456 of those, nearly 10%, that are minorities. Do you know that? Almost 10% of our population doesn't look like any of us in the room. I will work for growth of Vincennes University Jasper, including more municipal funding for the proposed Advanced Manufacturing Training Center that's in front of our legislature now. It's a long journey to get that here. We've ponied up some dollars from the city. Master Brand's done donations. DCADC has as well. Having just returned last Friday from a visit to the training programs at the main VU campus, I am quite confident that a similar approach will deliver measurable results here in Jasper. With my work in tourism, including my current role as a governor appointee by Governor Daniels, and as vice chair of the Indiana Tourism Council,